this work that I'm working on is called Antiquated Transhumanism and Resonance Architecture. And so the concept of it comes from understanding and reading and researching a lot of alternative history, understanding occult, like kind of coding into words, and different types of like biblical studies and everything. I'm trying to look. It's a really broad way to try to conceptualize how our ancestors were understanding physics, because I have a strong inkling of intuition that these empires that existed back in antiquity, they had access to energy, ether energy, plasma energy. They understood magnetics, conductive materials. They understood consciousness. They understood toroids. And for some reason, I think that that's been suppressed from our current understanding. And so if we lived in such a high technological civilized society, an empire known as Atlantis and the Atlanteans, which by count of people, if we can take them as credible sources, Edgar Cayce, Plato, so on and so forth, that Atlantis had technology and they were a high technological civilization. And then the deluge came, right? The fucking deluge came and wiped out everything. And then no longer were we able to access ether energy or understand the magnetic poles. And the argument being presented here is that the ancestral line we've been fed through history is in and out of complete truth, like a sine wave, pulsing over and under a streamline of fictitious understanding of time. And time itself is not linear. Thus, it does not grow and evolve. The invention of time reading devices like dials, swatches, and clocks shows us this by their cylindrical design. So this theorem consists of a broad intuitive understanding and willingness to be open that our planet and this realm and our bodies are electrically attuned and attached in the source field. This thick goop that allows us to connect when the operator of our conductive bodies is ready to turn on and tune in. At the same time, I want to paint a visual of how this idea can be viewed from an aerial position. Earth is like a vessel in a lab, sterilized and controlled environment, and we are like the electrons in a lipid solution. Controlling the charge, whether very high or very low, it allows a vibrational movement to essentially attune to the observer or the controller of the experiment. Okay, well, bounce back into the good stuff. We're living in a very electrical environment, and this general understanding is not well adept to our mainstream society, but known in areas of serious science, potentially for centuries. Somewhere along the line, seemingly between the 14th and 19th century, is the biggest cover-up of history through the invention of the alphabet as we know it, modern English, and modern science. Transhumanism is a movement that aims to use technology to enhance human intellect, physiology, and psychological abilities. This can be anything from brain implants to bionic eyes, stealth sim research, and exoskeleton bodysuits. Transhumanism is a class of philosophies of life that seek the continuation and acceleration of the evolution of intelligent life beyond its currently human form and human limitations by means of science and technology, guided by life-promoting principles and values. That's from Max Moore in 1990. He's still very current in the transhumanist movement. From crowns and coronets to Neuralink and nanotech. In this picture, you have an incredibly decadent Vedic crown. And wow, I mean, the art here is just absolutely amazing. The crow is the sign of putrefaction, which is the first kind of step into when you're talking about the alchemical steps. Which, if you read alchemical text, Roger Bacon, Fulcanelli, and these other famous alchemists, they'll tell you the steps. And the crow's beak, or Hermes ashes, the Hermes tree, that means you're in the right step. If you have the black compost that they call it. So that's the crown. Astrologically speaking, the crown was referenced to the stars in the sky and the zodiac wheel. To wear this crown is to be the center of the divine knowledge. His mind understands cosmic laws and brings them to this earth. His rule is divine.
That's just got to be heavy, man.
Right?
You're like, can everybody leave so I can take this thing off?
Oh yeah, like, that's got to be hard on the neck.
That's that's a great point. Is they weren't wearing these things all the time, right? Why would you wear something like this in battle? Well, to maybe heighten your senses, right? You have access to these chemical properties. I also think that they were charging these things up before they put it on. If they have some sort of like vibrational chamber, or dipping it in a saltwater solution, leaving it in the sun. For instance, I use crystals a lot for meditation. I'm a yogi. Yoga saved my life, everybody. So I have to keep doing it, and I have to preach the goodness of stretching your body and connecting. And I've had some transcendental experiences with using crystals. And what I'll do is I'll actually heat them up. I got a fireplace. I'll heat them up in a pot with salt water. And you could take these things out, even after, like the water doesn't have to be hot or anything. You take them out of the water, and you can feel the vibration in the crystal. I mean, like it feels like it's moving slightly, like there's some sort of static energy going on there. But yeah, this is 3500 BCE. This is the oldest remnants of this. This isn't stemming from monotheistic religious points of view by any means. This predates this predates all of the other crowns that we just saw, like all of this. So this is obviously a very old tradition, right? So it's floating around. You have the hot, you have the ground, but what's connecting it to that, right? That's what we do. That's what power poles do. That's what a lightning rod does, when lightning attracts that, that kind of thing. So a staff, when you're wearing shoes, is the thing that gets you grounded into the earth. So it's your grounding cord. And this symbol has been taken and ripped off. It was used as the Roman Empire, the Romanovs from Russia. It's also, like I said, a 32nd degree Freemason symbol. It's completely random. Also be
Göbekli Tepe's in Turkey too.
Exactly. Antiquated technologies and spiritual resonance, talismanic energy. Here we have an ancient Sumer art, and their obsession with the pine cone and pine forest. That's a whole other thing. If you guys listen to the show, everybody out there, all the things, they'll know that I'm obsessed with pine pollen. Pine pollen is one of Earth's most beautiful herbal medicines, and I think pine pollen is what we use to decalcify our pineal gland and connect our body to the Earth system. Okay, everybody. So I'm opening up this invitation to anybody who wants to join in. So I'm a farmer by trade. It's my favorite thing to do. I love connecting with the Earth. And I've been living off and on the big island of Hawaii for 10 years. And I just came upon some property. And I've been saving money for the first time in my life. And I got a really nice chunk of change saved up myself. Next thing is I'm opening up GoFundMe to people that want to contribute to a sustainable farm on the big island of Hawaii. And so through the sustainable farming, we will build small pyramids on the property to collect pyramid energy and grow plants inside of. We're going to put a few yurts. It's going to be 100% solar. We want to do primitive hot tubs. And we're going to kind of open it up as like a farm/resort. Now, we're not talking, 100 acres or anything. We're actually talking 1 acre, but we're going to create such an environment within that 1 acre that this resort is going to be open up for anywhere to 5 to 6 people at a time, and it's going to be very cozy and really comfortable, and you're going to be able to feel the effect of pyramid energy. And the really great part about this location is we are on one of the chakra points of the earth. You have volcanic energy, bro. You have magmatic energy, and you have one of the major ley lines, which is in South Point, which is just a few miles of the farm. So I want to be able to share this experience with anybody who is down to put in any money into the GoFundMe. If you put some funds into the project, it doesn't matter the amount at this point. If you are doing it at this early stage, you can put in $20 and I'll pick you up from the airport. You could put in $1,000 and you bet your ass I'll pick you up at the airport and drive you all around the island and show you my favorite things. We'll go YPO. We'll do tours.